Welcome back to Talkback. Still with us, Ramon Magsaysay awardees, Harish Hande from India, Panya Kool from Cambodia, and Auki Idzenga from the Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation here in the Philippines. Auki, how did Negros Occidental, Negros?
We are based in Occidental, but we move everywhere.
Yeah, you move everywhere. But the kind of technology that you introduced at that time,
yeah.
How did the local government units react to the proposal or to the project?
Well, we came out of the need that the LGUs or the government was not really functioning enough to reach out to the far-flung communities. So we are taking the areas, actually this is very similar when I'm listening to Harish, and I know him a little bit longer in his work. It's very similar, it's about decentralized, it's reaching out to people who are not being accommodated by the government. So we are very willing to work with the government, we are not depending on them. If they are serious, then we can do maybe great things together, but we don't depend on it. So our programs are really designed to do what are the needs of the people and what they express to us. And of course, over the years, we know what are the basic needs are. So we are in water. We have different water pumps, even though our flagship is the Ram pump. We are known for that. But we do other pumps as well. We manufacture, we install. We do sanitation, also hydropower, but all very small scale. We don't talk about, of course, megawatts. We don't talk about kilowatts. We talk about watts. And we do wind energy, we also talk about watts. So what Harish was saying, and what's the same exactly for us, when we talk about the Ram pump, we talk about liters per minute. It's when people were used to carry 40 liters uphill, you have to imagine if you have to go up 100 meters, you won't be bringing up, maybe the first day you try hard, but it will be a regular volume for the family of 40 liters at the max. So when our pump comes in, we have that like 10 times. So all kinds of developments come in. No need for big programs to do that. Simple technologies can have a big impact.
No, but the simplicity of the technologies that you have introduced precisely keeps the level of development small. And that's not going against the idea of big goals.
No.
Right? You want to keep and let them stay at that level of their consumption. There is
not really.
Not really.
No, not really. I mean, with water, if you provide them suddenly with 10 times more water, that's big for them, no?
And they don't actually need it, is what you're saying, or
no, they need.
Or what if they decide to put up a swimming pool and a resort?
Yes, no, but things come in where they didn't have thought of. So when you get water and they were not, the kids were not allowed to take a bath, so there are skin diseases because the mother needs the water early morning to cook. So they go to school, they have skin diseases, or there are diarrhea cases. They don't grow vegetables because they are waiting for the rain, so during dry season they don't use any water for vegetables. Now when the water is there, they start growing vegetables, or they dig a small fish pond for tilapia fish for their own consumption.
They're more conservationists, water conservationists in this regard, because they have little water to begin with, so they know how to conserve water.
Water is never enough, so even we bring in there 10 times, it won't be enough, because there are more ideas coming. We also think of other kind of developments. So, for example, with the pump, it's a starting point. So we bring in a water system, and then we form a water association. And these are people who are never organized. So they form an association, they come together. They don't just talk about water. They have a collection system. People pay a monthly fee. So they have some savings. They start thinking about what can we do with the savings. Okay, they said, let's do pig raising, because now there is water. We couldn't have pigs without water.
They need more water then with the pigs around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then there is not enough for everybody to buy a pig, so they make a raffle, and somebody gets a piglet at the first. So, so development comes in, all kinds of development.
In the same question for you, sir, is keeping this technology in the hands of just one person who becomes responsible and empowered and maybe also learning how to conserve only what he actually needs. Is that a good way of elevating the standards of living of the poor? And they know they will be just within this consumption of watts forever? Will it stay at that level? What if they want to acquire a television set? Then they'll have to improve on or get more?
Yeah, see, it's not the question of now the technology and the utilization and how to utilize this is in the hands of individual owners.
Yes.
Previously, I am dictated by the electricity that is given by one monopoly company.
Yeah.
Okay, and a number of hours of outage. I have to depend on how many hours of outage, or when are they going to give me? It's going to be a power line in next 10 years or 20 years, because I don't have electricity, for example, right? No, why should I wait for somebody else? Can't I give my kids the same education that the urban kid has or somebody else has?
Well, in the communities and the households that you have been, is this mainly in Bangalore?
No, in the state of Karnataka, but 120,000. But out of that, 60% of the people never had electricity before.
Yeah.
Even today, when we started in '94, many of the villages don't have electricity in 2011. So should we wait for somebody else?
Okay, but in the areas where you've already given all of these households with this compact solar power kit, the big companies, power companies, no longer target them for the regular kind of electricity distribution?
They do, but the question is we do not have enough supply to meet the demand. And that's why there's an increasing, there are two ways. In the rural sector, there's an increasing demand and we don't have enough supply. Second is, because of the increased power supply to the agricultural pump sets, the water tables have gone down, which means that the farmers are using more higher force pumps, right? Higher capacity pumps. And that's again the state electricity board is not able to cater to that demand. So they would divert the consumption from local households to the agricultural pump sets. So you're sacrificing. A lot of the households, it's who sacrifice? The kids sacrifice.
Yeah.
They have to read under kerosene, right?
So solar power cannot irrigate farmlands?
It's too expensive. I mean, at this point of time, it's too expensive. But I would say it absolutely makes sense for basic needs, high quality of life, get the people out of one level of poverty. As they earn more, they go, as you said, television. Yes, they can add 2 more panels and run television. But you are looking at a sustainable development.
Not so you're keeping it at that kind of a niche.
And which is good. You're not forcing consumptive, unsustainable development, which is what is happening whether it's Manila or Bangalore.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But collecting it in an industrial size of a collection of solar panels is not, you will never go in that direction.
No, because there are there are two issues with that. One is that you're going back to rely on the transmission and distribution losses, unreliable grid, and second is large solar panels require again large land. You're going to now depend on the social unsustainability. Are you going to take the valuable agricultural land to put solar?
Yeah.
We need to look at development holistically.
Yeah.
And this is
what about the impact of climate change or weather patterns on the solar energy?
This is beautiful because you're looking at poverty alleviation as the center point, sustainable energy. Where else can you actually talk about climate change solutions being an added benefit? Your poverty alleviation, sustainable energy, and so the added is the see. Otherwise, what the government is saying, we need to have coal-fired plants because the poor have to get out of poverty, right? The rich are hiding behind the poor by that statement.
Yes.
So now you're putting decentralized energy, getting them out of poverty, and also having a solution for climate change. That's the beauty of sustainable energy.
Okay, let's go back to Cambodia. You've studied, I've seen your educational background, and you've studied in European universities and even in Australia. As you were beginning to get involved in this advocacy for your country and for your people, did you see a disconnect about the ideas or ideologies of the Western countries or the other Asia-Pacific countries in the region as far as democratic institutions are concerned? As fit for a Cambodian kind of a culture and history and experience?
I believe that the human rights and democracy, they have universal value That
universal value, yes.
Universal value.
Yes.
They are empower people,
yeah.
and strengthening the citizen participate in the process, in the political process. I think this is very important.
Is universal, but did you think that given the kind of people, describe to me how the Cambodian people are, as a people, as a community, as a family?
We still a patriarchal society, and
patriarchal
society. I mean we still respect the leader. We consider the leader as a father of the society. So that's a mentality of the Cambodian people. But however, when we start to introduce democracy and human rights, they see that it's very important. That's the value that they actually existing in our culture, in our tradition. It's not from the West alone. For example, the freedom, for example, the right to life.
Yeah.
Our religious also suggest the right to life. This easy people catch up. For example, our religious, they talk about the freedom of expression. They have debate. So why people cannot exercise the debate, include the political debate? I think this is very important, and for them. And for example, many rights. For example, right to walk. Right to before, even during the communist time, they not allowed to walk, to think. It's not only about the expression, but to walk, to think, they're not allowed. But this right has been suggested in our tradition. People can walk to everywhere, to have a business, to engage with many neighbor people, in other communities. So it's such a freedom. It's already exists in our society. It's not from the Western. That we try to introduce that, and people start to aware that people have power, have the dignity in that political process.
You organized COMPREL, is it?
COMPREL, yes, the Committee for Free and Fair Election in Cambodia.
Was this purely funded by the Cambodian civil society, or was there funding from foreign governments when you set this up?
Mostly from international NGO. I mean European NGO that they support us. They also contribute from the volunteer work from the villager and civil society organization based in Cambodia. They also voluntarily contribute to that activity.
So you've had elections, free elections, just in 1993?
We had before
before the Khmer Rouge.
Yeah, we started in 1946, but it's not reached to the level what we call free and fair election. Is still a lot of problem and still one party system election. So since 1993 we introduced multi-party election system. That's something different to the citizen, that they able to have more choice and to bring to participate and to bring accountability of the elect official from different political parties.
And is the Khmer Rouge a thing of the past in Cambodia now, or there are still remnants of the members of the Khmer Rouge operating actively as an underground or even as a political party?
The Khmer Rouge organization have been abolished already.
Yes.
They have finished functionally, but their personal people, the official, the commander, some commander, who are responsible for this killing and disaster, they still work in the government in their stronghold area. So now it's in process of trial, that combination between UN and the domestic court, try to bring the senior responsible Khmer Rouge leader to the trial. But some people feel that it's not enough, just target only the few senior leader. We should also look at some people at the medium leader also share responsibility of the killing and the brutality.
The final stretch of Talkback in a moment. Stay with us, please.